Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Physics here. So this is the third diary entry update for the foreign experience build, the Oni-Goroshi Slayer. Um, so finished the stream at about 9.5 hours of gameplay. We managed to get almost a quarter of the way through level 91. Before we go through the gear and stuff, I guess I'll show you guys a map. So we'll hop in real quick. I am now into red maps. I've actually done up to tier 14 red maps. Cannot run either of those mods. I've actually done up to tier 14s, but this is just happens to be what's in my inventory now. Right now, I feel most safe between like tier 11 to 13 being the kind of, the limit of what I feel like super comfortable running, but definitely had to spend some time to get the damage up. Still no writhing jar, which is really rough. Even with how the character currently is now, I really want to fight Cirrus. I would do so immediately if I had the jar, but the jar is mandatory for bossing, unfortunately. So until I get that, I cannot really, with any degree of safety, do any of the endgame bosses. And like I said, if I had a writhing jar, I would definitely fight him right now. Even if it wasn't A8, maybe like A5 or something. But unfortunately I don't have one, so I just gotta wait for now, I guess, and just hope one drops. Sick. Love double chest. So as you can see, it's doing pretty good. Got the damage up a lot. I've noticed still one part of the build though that suffers. Obviously I'm using a flammability on hit ring. As you can see, the flammability above everything. The build just like really struggles with monsters that have like elemental resists. Like obviously you're pretty much a pure fire damage build, makes sense, but even with flammability, if there's like a mob that has like resists, elemental damage or whatever, your damage goes down very noticeably. So if you're running a map with like plus 35 LE resist to monsters or whatever, and then you run into a rare that already has LE resist as well, you're going to be chunking them for a while. This build I've noticed is actually kind of bad at killing essence monsters. Not necessarily bad as in like it can't, it's just they are incredibly tanky for this build, whereas other builds, usually the essence monsters for the most part, unless they're like super tricked out with a ton of essences, they just kind of fall over. This build you kind of have to wail on them for a few seconds. It's definitely something that was like mildly annoying to me because I haven't had to deal with it on other builds this league. But yeah, as you can see, it's pretty comfy. This is my first map of the day. I just got up a little while ago, so I'm not like, mega juicing. This is not peak optimal foreign experience gameplay, but it's gives you guys a good idea of how it plays. Once I'm done with the map, I'll go through gear. There was a decent amount of upgrades achieved yesterday, rather, I guess. So the character definitely gained some strength, though I still have a kind of a fat to-do list for this character for stuff that I need to get to feel like super comfortable on him. It's pretty comfy, whatever. All right, so now let's get into the gear. So first things first, shortly after starting the stream, actually, I finally hit the craft I was looking for. Additional curse with crit chance to attacks and then some resist. And then I just bench crafted on life. I can roll this up to 85 max, and then 14 strength is an additional 7 life. So it's got like 90. Right now it's got actually 90 life exactly. And then if I max the craft, it could have 92, which is okay. It has quite a fat chunk of armor as well. This isn't like the best I could possibly get, but it is probably the best he will probably get, because I don't intend playing this character to like 99, 100, etc. to get like real min-maxed super perfect gear on him. So this is probably his final chest piece upgrade. The boots are still the same, the gloves are still the same, though I did craft a additional pair of gloves. Yeah, right here. Tier 1 life, a decent chaos res roll, a high fire resistance roll, holy moly, and then strength as well. So that's if I had, once I get a harvest reroll with lucky prefixes on it, get that up to 89 life, and then the 33 strength is an additional 16 or 17 life. So very high life, as well as chaos res. I am definitely still struggling with chaos resistance. Negative 16 right now. It's kind of bad. Other than that, the rings are still the same. Chest piece still the same. But the amulet is now different. This amulet's okay. I ended up anointing Bastion Breaker onto it, so I get a little bit of life. This is what, tier 3? Tier 5 life, wow. So amulet I think can roll up to 89 life max, if my memory serves correctly. So 49 is not the best, but it does have a large resistance roll on it, as well as 30 crit multi, which is a ton of damage, and just 10 crit chance, which helps. And then Bastion Breaker, what that does is it is just 30% increased attack damage. The Overwhelm doesn't really do anything for us. It's just a 30% increased attack damage. The end game anoint for this build is, I always lose it. Right here. Gladiator's Perseverance. So this is an additional 10% increased attack damage over Bastion Breaker, but you also get 10% increased attack speed, and then an additional Fizz attack leeches life, which I don't really think matters at all because you're already at the cap anyway. But the additional 10% increased Fizz and the attack speed is huge. It's a very noticeable damage gain. But I did not really feel like this amulet was worth using a white oil on, so I just put on Bastion Breaker for the time being until I can get something better. End game, what I would prefer is to have a much higher life roll, and then potentially more resists, but basically in order of priority is like life, crit multi, resists, and then resistances, and then crit chance is actually quite low. To give you guys an idea, we POB'd the crit chance last night. So against mobs generally clearing with my power charges up and everything, my crit chance is about 92 or 93% right now. Which means anytime I'm bossing, anything with Assassin's Mark on it, and because of the double curse chest piece, I now have basically roughly 100% uptime of Assassin's Mark on bosses. So on bosses, I definitely have 100% crit chance. So that's huge. Very nice. Though I am still using the mastery, which gives crit chance and reduced crit multi. I tried unspecking out of it in the POB, and my clear crit chance went down to like 82 or 83%, and my crit chance with Assassin's Mark was only about 92 or 93%. So this mastery is still mandatory for me to be crit cap. So I will be using that still. Changes to the tree. Have I changed really anything? It was mostly just pathing life nodes. I grabbed the small life nodes here and here. I completely filled out the Scion life wheel, Constitution. Other than that, other places for life. Next level up, I will probably grab this small life node. This build definitely is hurting on life. I have less life than I would normally feel comfortable with at this point. Getting the Cirrus helmet will help a lot because that's an additional, you know, like 15 to 20% life, as well as the transfiguration buffs. So that'll be a lot more life, a lot more damage, you know, everything. So that'll be huge. After I grab this last life node down here, I will probably path for strong arm. And then from there, I haven't really decided what I want to do. Maybe start taking some of the masteries that I've neglected up to this point. But yeah, hopefully I get the Writhing Jar today. The build's like, it's fine. If you're wondering my current impressions on it, I feel like I'm leaning very heavily into I was right and Darky's opinion was correct. There have been so many times where I'm playing this build and I just wish I was playing a slammer instead. It's fine, it's good, and I think the one huge redeeming quality of this build is ultimately going to be bossing. I don't expect the DPS to be like crazy for bosses, but just the sheer mobility that this build will have during bossing seems like it'll be really good. Another thing to note is that if you have to jump around and do mechanics, you will have a Bladestorm and a Rage Vortex on the boss. So even if you have to deal with a bunch of stuff, you're constantly getting your Overleech refreshed. even if you have to move off the boss to like dodge mechanics or things like that. So that's really cool as well. The other obvious big thing here is you don't actually need a 6-link for this build. Obviously the Oni is the 6-link for your main damage skill, and then for the chest piece, as you see, you only need a 5-link, and that's much easier to get. Even day one, very easy to get as compared to a 6-link. So those are the two things I think this build really has going for it. The clear is okay. The bossing is okay. Like, none of this stands out as like, wow, this is worth it. You know what I mean? Yeah, so far I'm not like super blown away by the build. It seems fine. It's definitely viable. It's good, but I don't think it's viable enough to warrant, you know, constantly farming Onis and stuff like that multiple times a league and whatever. That's just my current feelings on it. Obviously, I get extra damage with each level up. So currently only 91. Obviously, by the time I'm 95, I'll have a fat chunk more damage and stuff like that. It is quite weird having damage directly tied to your level. But yeah, the goal for today, Writhing Jar, absolutely #1. The way that I'm going about Writhing Jar is I'm chancing bases, which is a hollowed hybrid flask. I'm running Valdos for ancient shards to get ancient orbs. And then I'm also in Lyra, so I'm running like my tier 11s and stuff in Lyra, my tier 10, tier 11 in Lyra, and then I'm running my tier 12, tier 13s in Valdos, depending on like what maps drop. And I'm running Lyra for bestiary stuff, popping on my beast missions and stuff, trying to get the unique flask craft. Now I've used a few ancient orbs, I've done a few flask crafts, and none of them have netted me pretty much anything except Forbidden Taste and Rot Guts, but hopefully my luck changes today. So the most important thing for sure is getting the Writhing Jars so we can start doing bossing, and then beyond that, I need to get my Chaos Resin check ASAP. And then longer term goals, I have been crafting this Elder Belt ad nauseum, and I have not managed to hit tier 1% life roll with a decent flat life roll. Hopefully that changes, but I feel like this belt is cursed. And then finally, potentially get like, and when it comes to chaos res, one of my rings is gonna have to go, but the problem with the build is intelligence is really hard to come by. That's why I'm using a lapis amulet now, actually. But yeah, that's kind of where the build's at. There's I need to like sort out the chaos res, need to get a Writhing Jar, and then other than that, there's not a whole lot in terms of upgrades. My helmet isn't great. Like, it doesn't have tier 1 life, and normally I go for at least tier 1 life in all the main slots, the boots, the gloves, and the helmet, and then at least 100 life on the chest piece as well. But this has so much reds on it for me right now, and I've been really struggling with resistances on this character, so I'll probably be using this helmet for a while. Anywho, guys, that's gonna be it. Probably, I don't know, probably another day or two on this character. I really wanna be able to boss on this character, but I don't want, you know, the build diary series to just be me coming and telling you guys every day that I haven't found a Writhing Jar. So maybe like another day or two of this character, and then we'll move on to something. That's how I'm kind of currently feeling. I don't have a lot more interest in playing the build further at this point. Would really like to do some bossing. Who knows? Might just, maybe at the end of the day, if I still have a Writhing Jar, we might just YOLO a Cirrus or whatever and just, you know, see how it goes. Clench really hard, take a bunch of extra life flasks into the fight, and then hope I don't get popped when Vol Pack is not leeching. But yeah, reminder that directly after this video goes up on YouTube, I will be live on Twitch streaming, so feel free to drop by, say hi, and then that's gonna be it, guys. If you like the video, thumbs up. If you didn't like it, thumbs down. Tell me what I can do better, and if you like me, maybe consider subbing. That's it, guys. Have a good one. See you around.